When you are struggling with something like I've struggled with, you begin to kind of hate yourself. It's kind of like a thorn in my side. I know it's there, but I'm actively saying, God, I want to surrender. I surrender, you know? And after you keep praying, God really works on you. You know, like God takes our faults and uses them, right? God takes the things that we struggle with and he turns them around for good.
Well, welcome to the Found Podcast. I'm Lori, and I'm so glad that you joined us here. You are going to hear a story today that's going to warm your heart, and it's going to encourage you that no matter what journey you're on, God is able to set you free and to put you on a brand new path. And I want to introduce my guest, Daniel Richter. You may remember him as the frontman of 11 Past One. I do, because one of my boys was in that band for a short period of time. He was chasing the success in the pop music world, and his hit singles hit millions of streams. But behind the spotlight, well, Daniel was struggling and really wrestling with deep questions of identity. And God completely redirected his life. He's going to share today about his journey of healing, of freedom, and of obedience. And Daniel's a husband, he's a father, he's a worship leader, he's a Christian artist. He's got some new songs out, and one of them is called Dear God, and you're going to get a taste of that at the end. So you got to hang in there right to the end. Welcome to the Found Podcast, Daniel.
Thanks, Lori. Thanks for having me.
I'm really glad to have you here. I feel like, well, you've been one of my oldest son, Justin, you've been one of his friends for many years.
That's right.
And for a little window of time, he was one of those 11 Past One guys.
He was the bassist for, a shorter period of time.
Yep.
But yeah.
So I got to see your talent then, and I'm like, holy cow, this guy is gifted.
Well, thank you.
But, we're going to talk a little bit about that, Daniel, but we're here for you to share your story.
Yeah.
And thank you for your willingness to do that.
You're welcome.
It maybe is easier to stand up on a platform with a microphone than it is to really get behind the scenes of your life, eh?
Yeah, to speak on it. Yeah. I find it easier to get up on stage in front of like hundreds or thousands of people and sing than to just sing in front of a couple people or even just to talk.
Right. Well, today, here
so
we are.
This is the hard part.
You know what? Thank you for doing this.
The Lord is here. He's helping.
Yeah. And you know what? This podcast Found is about being raw and real.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. And I thank you for your willingness to do that.
Yeah.
You have beautiful parts of your story, and then you got some tough parts.
Yeah.
Take us back to, as I say, pretty much with every guest, our identity is often shaped and formed when we're very young. Tell us about your family and how you grew up and who you were as this young boy.
Yeah. Well, I had a wonderful family. I had wonderful parents, two parents that have sticked together. They're still together today. They got saved in their early 20s. And for them, it was like a radical transformation. For them, like it was, night and day right away where God just transformed their lives. Like my dad was a little bit of a rock star. And
is he a singer too? Or?
He's not a singer, but he's a drummer.
Okay.
And he was a drummer in a band called Christmas. It's like a 70s psychedelic progressive rock band.
Cool.
And my mom was a little bit of a groupie.
Oh, yeah.
And anyways, so their life was transformed right away when they got saved. So their mission obviously was to shape me and my siblings in Christ.
Yeah.
So that was really a blessing to have them, get saved and do that. I really look up to them. So that was great,
How many siblings? Big family.
Yeah, so I have 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Wow.
There's
Where are you
6
in that
of
order?
us. I'm kind of in the middle with my sister.
Okay.
So there's 2 younger than me and 3 older than me.
Okay. And now 3 of the boys are running the family business. You're
Family
working together.
asphalt business.
Okay.
Yes. I own and run Wally's Sealing and Paving with them.
Okay.
So we bought it off my dad. I guess this is our 5th year now, running it together, us 3.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. Like it's awesome.
That's an amazing story itself. And that may come out in some of, your journey of this identity. Like really it's how identity is really a question of how you see yourself.
Yeah.
So when you were younger and you look back at little Daniel, who were you? How would you describe yourself?
Probably a really happy kid.
Yeah.
Someone who loved to kind of perform and be like, I would always like my sister and I, we would just like every day trying to come up with some kind of like a creative art form. Like she would dress me up, do outfit changes, and we'd, create these little acts, singing acts, acting acts, stuff like that. So it was always kind of ingrained in me. I think my sister kind of helped shape that. But like, honestly, I loved doing it. But, as I grew up a little bit, I could say like, I became kind of like nervous. Like there was a lot of nervousness that grew as I grew older, I think, with that. But
were you performing at a young age?
I was performing, in church, like I would start, probably at the age of about 12, I would start on singing on worship teams and doing like special music on Sundays and stuff like that. Yeah. So it all kind of started there. And I was kind of always the main act, like in musicals.
Mm-hmm. Like you have this amazing voice.
Thank you.
And did you take lessons? Is it just naturally developed? Like,
yeah, my voice kind of naturally just developed.
Yeah.
I never really took any lessons. Like I think my mom stuck me in vocal training for a little bit, but I never really did much. And but I was like piano. I've been in piano lessons, classical piano lessons since I was 6. Right.
Good for your mom.
So I did that. Yeah, good for my mom. And I did that all through grade school, all through high school, and then university.
Yeah.
I have a degree in music at the University of Toronto.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I did that.
Was your degree in music in vocal, in piano? Like what did
piano was my major instrument. It wasn't vocal, but we did I sang in choirs and stuff there. It was kind of mandatory to be in those choirs, but it's called a comprehensive Bachelor of Music. So it kind of like dabbled in a little bit of everything. Like, we learned how to conduct, and I had to take violin, like, which I never stuck with. Like there's these classes, you'd learn how to like blow on the trumpet and violin and a couple other little instruments, but so it's comprehensive.
That's very cool. I didn't know that. I was a music teacher for many years.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Well, there you go. Yeah. And I taught concert band and choirs and led, I think, 39 productions that I can actually remember between church world and school world productions, musicals. It was just, I grew up in the sort of musical theater world. I grew up playing in bands in concert band format.
What did you play?
But I played flute, was my main instrument from high school. But the truth is, when I became a music teacher, I didn't know how to have to play all the instruments. And I literally took each one home. And over the summer, literally just like, okay, I'm going to learn clarinet today. Okay, I'm going to learn trumpet. Now, I wasn't great at any of them, but I at least tried them all. Yeah. So I know what you mean, just learning. I played alto sax, actually, too. I played a mean jazz sax. Cool. Grade school and high school. Yeah. You know what? Music is a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. It's great on the brain. As I always said, music makes you smarter. Yeah. And that's really neat. What was your goals in getting that degree? What did you think you would do with it? Was it always about being a performer? It was. But for a while, it was just, I wanted to be a classical piano performer when I actually started going. Like it was always in the back of my head to sing. Like singing was my first love. But I kind of just was going through the motions and getting a degree in music, and I was doing it in piano there. So I figured, I could be a concert pianist. I could do this. But then it just kind of slowly shifted, and, we formed the band right when I graduated university. The other boys graduated high school, so we formed the band right then and there. So when I got out of university, we just kind of went right into the band world. Yeah, right into the band. So tell us about 11 Past One, this band that you formed. Yeah, so in a nutshell, I'll start way back when we formed. We just kind of took off right away, and we bought a 1970s RV trailer, and we just went into the States, not knowing what to do. We just wanted to play shows. So we knew that we wanted to go somewhere warm because it was winter.
So we hit up Florida for a few months, and just playing the scenes down there and just living in trailer parks. And
Oh my goodness.
doing that. And we met an investor down there along the way, and he invested in us big time, and he got us across the country. We landed in California. He paid for our first full-length studio album there. He paid for studio apartment in West Hollywood for us to start living in, and while we're working on our music. And it was like a snowball effect. Like, you just keep meeting new people and stuff, and then we met producers and managers, and one thing led to another, and we got together with the producer who produced our Canadian gold single, "The World Is Ours." And that was kind of the beginning of it all. And we took it to Virgin Radio here in Canada when we got back from our big trip, and all of a sudden they started playing it. So it was all over the country.
Wow.
And then not shortly after that, Warner Music Canada approached us, and we got signed.
Wow.
And then it was all
everyone
crazy from there.
Isn't it just the musician's dream?
It was really, it is a dream. Like, it almost seemed, it wasn't easy. I'm not going to say easy.
Yeah.
But it was almost easy.
Yeah.
in a certain respect.
Yeah. Like, you're almost living in a movie of here you are in California.
We took our first song that we thought was a hit.
Yeah.
And it blew up.
Yeah. Like, that is not normal.
No. And then you try to take more, even with a major record label behind you. You try to take more songs out there, and nothing stuck as big as that one. So it's like, well, okay.
Maybe that's the reality of
weird.
the road, right? Okay. So you're having all this success. It seems to be coming easy, as you say. But underneath, there was something going on. There was a lifestyle. Here you are, this Christian boy. Would you say you were a genuine follower of Jesus at the time?
Honestly, I always have been a follower of Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, even through all the struggles and everything that I've been through in my life, I never once turned my back on God.
Yeah.
I've always,
You've always loved him.
always loved Jesus.
Yeah.
Never stopped.
So what happened? Was it tell us a little bit about the story and sort of the journey of, there were some struggles that came your way and really started to affect your identity, like who you were in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wanted to come here today because I haven't really ever spoken about it. Satan really threatened my masculinity from a young age, and kind of stole my sexual identity for as long as I can remember.
Wow.
And, that's why I want to talk about it. I want to be used by God so badly. And I just want to talk about my testimony and what I've been through in my life, so that, maybe God can use that and speak to other people and help other people through it. Because when, I know, the saying, when sin lives in the dark, like, it grows, right? Yeah. So I'm ready to talk about that for sure.
Tell us what happened, Daniel. You say from a young boy, Satan tried to steal your sexual identity. What was the struggle about?
Yeah, so just homosexual thoughts and just everything that goes along with that. Like, it just would not leave me. And I can't really pinpoint any time or anything where it began, but even when I was a young kid, I think Satan threw accusations at me from different people, because even I've always liked to look good, and I've always done my hair and liked the way, that I dressed and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people in high school especially just saw that and just accused me of being gay, and they would throw these accusations around, and, it was really, really hurtful. But I don't know. I think somewhere along the way, Satan just threw these lies at me, and,
And you believed it.
I guess I just started believing it. It's not something that happens overnight, but it's just, I don't know what happened,
Yeah.
So I've lived this terrible, life of shame, and for so long, it's just been so hard, and I want to talk about it, I want to tell how God has saved me, has redeemed me. It's crazy because you're so shameful, because you know what it says in the Bible about homosexuality. I've always believed in the Bible, So that's why I wanted to hide it, you know, and God's grace and mercy trumps it all. You know, we all have our struggles. We all have sinful things. And I think, you know, especially in the Christian world, it's hard to talk about certain sins in general, but like this one in the Christian world is really, really looked down on.
Right.
You know, but in God's eyes, every sin is the same.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that's why it was just really so hard to ever talk about it. And I feel bad because I know my parents probably would have guided me and helped me through it all, but
Yeah.
I looked up to them so much. And you know, when you look up to somebody and respect somebody so much, I think it's probably hard to, you know, let them down.
Right.
Or think of letting them down, but
And you felt shame by this.
so much shame.
And practice in your life, it became a practice.
Yeah, like,
Acted out, not just thoughts, but acted out.
yeah,
in your
it
life.
never really became like a lifestyle because I would always be asking God to change my heart, change my mind. I truly believe that if God didn't, and we'll touch on this maybe later, but if God's kind of stopped me in my tracks, in the fame and the success and stuff like that. And I really think that if he let me keep going, it could have been a lifestyle for me,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I wouldn't have gotten married. Maybe I wouldn't have had kids.
Yeah.
And maybe I would have went down even a darker path, you know?
I mean, Daniel, some would say, well, maybe you should have just embraced it. Even some Christians would say, well, is it really a sin? Shouldn't you have just identified with it?
Right.
And
That's what the world teaches, right?
right. I mean, how do you see that from a place of you've come out of that struggle, which we'll talk more about, but like, how do you respond to that?
Well, first off, I know that my identity is in Christ. And I know that life is not of Christ because I believe in what the Word of God says. You know, so that's like number one for me. Like, that's why I couldn't embrace it like the world wanted me to.
Yeah.
You know, and especially being in the music industry, they're pumping it.
Right.
They're pumping it out through all the advertising, all the music, and it's crazy what the world is pumping into our children these days.
Right.
So yeah, I did not want to embrace it. I never wanted to embrace it. I never wanted to.
Yeah. And that struggle left you in a place where, you know, you had to make some choices and you had to bring it into the light, really. Because you say when you hide things, then it comes with shame and then it grows. What happened?
That's right.
What happened that you brought this into the light? Did something occur?
Yeah, I mean, I think really, you know, God brought me like the perfect wife for me, right? Like no other woman would ever suffice. Like it's just so amazing. So I think like it all kind of started there. Like when I got married, you know, Liz knew about it all. And
Had you been dating a while? Did you know Lizzie for a while?
yeah, since we were 6, actually.
Oh my goodness.
We
you
met in
guys-
church.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you grew
But
up.
we didn't start dating till we were about 29.
Wow.
Yeah, so like she knew about it, and you know when I made the decision to get married, like it was scary because like I would always be praying like, God, you know my struggles. You know, I just really, really like I yearned to get married to a woman. Like that was my heart. That was my heart's desire. And God gave me her. What a gift. So
Were you
kind
both
of all
following
changed.
the Lord at the time, or I think you both sort of had your journeys, right?
We both had our journeys.
Yeah.
She had her journey too. She kind of left the church there for a bit.
Yeah.
We like to joke and say like I brought her back to church.
Oh, you brought her back. Okay.
I did kind of bring her back to church.
Yeah. Is she kind of the party girl, or?
Not so much.
No?
I think I think Satan she should speak on it for herself, but Satan threw a lot of like doubts and stuff in her mind. So yeah, she wasn't much of a party girl.
Yeah.
No, I was a party boy though.
Right. So you're living this party lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yet
That's
you,
another thing, actually, like the party lifestyle
Right.
that Satan threw at me, right? Like I just rolled with it, because when they're struggling with something like I've struggled with, you begin to kind of hate yourself, right? Like, and I did get into drugs and alcohol heavily, and even cocaine. That it made me so happy, right? It was such a temporary high.
yeah,
And I was using cocaine there, and those were the things those were the tools that Satan used. But these are the things that I did only because I didn't want to think about myself.
right,
I didn't want to actually like live with reality.
right,
So those are the things that kind of gave me a temporary break
yeah.
from thinking about like how screwed up I was,
I mean, that's often the way. It really isn't the drug or the alcohol or the sex or the whatever, can we say the rock and roll in your case.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it was just like you're escaping, numbing.
I'm numbing.
'Cause you
Totally. I
don't
even
wanna
wrote
face
about it. I
reality.
wrote about it. It's called the song's called The Mirror. Came out in like maybe 2019. And, I'd look in the mirror at the end of the night of partying, and I would literally just say I would literally cry out to God, like, what have I done again? How long, God?
Yeah,
How long am I going to struggle with this?
yeah.
You know?
And you loved God, but
I loved God.
you were turning to other things.
Always loved God.
Yeah,
I'm so thankful that he kept me close enough for me to just come back to him, fully give myself to him and surrender everything to him.
yeah. Isn't his grace amazing, Daniel?
It is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There is nothing, no sin, no thought, nothing in our life that God does not still love us and want us to come home.
Because, for a long time, like, how could you love me, God? How could you love me after doing, being for so long in that? And, how can, like, even like your parents, like, I know I'm a grown man, but like, you think of your parents who you respect so much, like, how could they love me too? I know they would have. Yeah. But my wife, she loves me no matter what. She's always loved me, and that's where we were going there with that question.
Yeah.
But yeah, God bless me with her, and
yeah,
I think that was the real starting point of the turning point.
Yeah.
I think, obviously once you get married.
Yeah.
And just a lot of prayer from there on, I knew I made this commitment to my wife, so it's like,
Yeah.
you really got to, barrel down in prayer and start talking, like, really every single day.
Getting real.
Change my mind, God. Make me more like you, Jesus.
Yeah.
What's your will for my life, God? I want to live in your will. Like, you have to have a relationship with God. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Every night when I was living that lifestyle, I said that I would pray and stuff, but really that was like, one of the only prayers I'd ever pray. Not having a relationship with him like I do now,
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me here on the Found Podcast. If you'd like to see more incredibly rich conversations like this one, go to lorihartshorn.com/donate and be part of a growing number of people who are supporting this ministry and the team that is just actually doing a great job. For $20 a month, that's less than a coffee a day, you could really make a difference helping us reach more people with the good news of Jesus. So thank you for those who have said yes, and back to the conversation. It was a prayer more like help me, God, help me, God.
It was a cry for help.
And yet you
it
hadn't
stopped there,
surrendered.
kinda. Yeah, exactly. It's the surrendering part, right?
Yeah. You know what? I think so much of the gospel, of everything I read from Genesis right through Revelation is just stories of surrender. I mean, really, that's all Jesus asks is, will you surrender?
Yeah.
Every part of yourself.
Every part.
That includes your sexuality.
That includes the sexuality.
You know, if you don't have a relationship with God, like in some ways, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But when you surrender to the lordship and actually giving your life as Jesus gave his life for us, it changes everything.
It changes everything. And when I truly started to surrender too, like, you know, and then I started leading worship at church, and that's been like the most musically fulfilling thing.
Wow.
That I've
Bigger
ever
than
done.
the stages all across
Bigger than
the world.
playing a sold out, you know, Molson Amphitheater show, like, you know, 16,000 people, or Canada Day, Mississauga, 50,000 people.
Wow.
It's just like, yeah, I was up there at that time. I loved doing it. I was chasing the selfish fame and stuff. But now I'm chasing, in my music, I'm chasing God. I'm chasing Jesus now.
Yeah.
So in turn, that is the most rewarding thing, just even leading worship.
Wow. At really not such a little church, but comparatively a little church.
Yeah, a little church. I think there's maybe 300 people.
And you are the worship director, pastor? What
Yeah,
is
I
your
take
role?
care of the whole thing. Take care of the whole team, put it together, pick the songs.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And that brings you joy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lots.
And the healing that's taken place in your life. And I think we often recognize on this podcast too, when people talk, and thank you, by the way, for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That's a tender part of your life. And thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, those people who are listening that maybe identify with that struggle, you know, maybe it's an area of sexuality that maybe it's the same or different.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Yeah.
That they really like you. They're like, I want to surrender this to God.
That's the thing. That was just like me. Like, if you, whatever you're going through, it could be different than me, but surrendering, you know, with your heart, with your words, like just talking to God and asking him on the daily, I want to surrender. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you're not surrendering yet, which was me for a long time.
Right.
But I'm actively saying, God, I want to surrender. I surrender, you know? And after you keep praying, God really works on you. Like, you have to just be persistent. Like, you have to have that surrendering spirit in the relationship. And you know what? Keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say to you. Keep reaching out to God. You know, and we'll talk later about it. But yeah, my new song, Dear God, it's called. And it's just about reaching out to God.
Yeah.
So.
Did it change your desire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because some would say, well, that'll never change.
Well, it'll never change. I will agree with that. Like, for me, it's still there. I still struggle with the thoughts, but I take them captive. But my desire, it is changing. Like, it has changed. I'm obviously happily married with my wife and 3 kids. But Satan still throws it at me.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's a fair and honest reflection on this struggle. You may have to keep surrendering.
Keep surrendering.
Yeah.
That's my advice. Keep taking it to God.
Right.
Every day. Like, I'm driving into work. I have a 13-minute drive from my house to my shop. And I'm praying, and one of those prayers I'm going to say pretty much every morning is, God, I want to be more like you. Take me today. Let me live in your will. Change my heart and my mind. Make me more like you. It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think too, whenever we've been exposed to something in our life, like this was something that started, I guess, young, was through pervasive in some ways through your life, gradually maybe giving into it. Would you say that that's kind of the journey of it?
Yeah.
Then it's going to, you know, sometimes we have these instant, I never took a drink again. I never wanted a drink again. I never took a drink again. And other people's journeys are, I absolutely surrendered it, but I continue to surrender it. Is that sort of how you feel about this area of your life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know if, Paul, the Bible talks about Paul having a thorn in his side. I don't know if it was a physical ailment
Right.
or something that he had to live with, though, for the rest of his life. But I kind of like to parallel what I go through. It's kind of like a thorn in my side. I know it's there. We're living in the world. While I'm here, I might have to keep just going through it.
Right.
And keep having to take it to God. And maybe that is something that God's using to draw me closer to him. Like God takes our faults and uses them, right? God takes the things that we struggle with and he turns them around for good. So yeah, I totally agree. Like, at this point, I'll be 40 next year. Wow.
I can't believe you're 40. You look way too young.
Well, I'm not 40 yet. Please don't. Please.
Okay, we're not there yet.
But it's almost half my life. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to live with this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna surrender it. I'm gonna keep surrendering.
Are you open to the possibility that? Well, I'm sure the struggle is less.
Yes.
The struggle is less.
Yes. Yeah.
And as you walk with God, you open to that. Someday you wait and think, I don't even have that thought anymore.
Sometimes I'm just waiting to get to heaven.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pray that this side of heaven, that
would be nice.
Really experience that.
That would be nice.
But I love that you're so honest with the journey and where you're at with that. And it is beautiful how God has redeemed so many things in your life. You're pushing fame. You then went into a solo career, right? So the band ends. You go into this solo career. What was happening in your heart what were you pursuing at that point?
Yeah, so I was still pursuing, the secular industry. So really, like Warner Music Canada was kind of grooming me to be a part of, start solo music. Like they started working on solo music with me when the band's contract was up. So anyways, I was praying about it. I took it to God then. I'm like, God, what do I do here? Like, this is a big decision. Leaving the band who I have like 10 years of history with, like it's a brotherhood and stuff. It would be horrible to leave them. Anyways, in short, I knew deep down not to take another record deal on my own. I knew God was saying no. I think that's when God pumped the brakes. And like I said earlier to you, I think that was the point where I was like, okay, if I go down this road, maybe I would be living that life.
Right.
So I knew it was so hard because that's all I ever wanted. Like I wanted that
music career
platform, the music career. I wanted to be the next Justin Bieber or One Direction or whoever was big at that time,
Yeah.
And I was pursuing selfish musical ambitions and God turned it around. And when I started leading worship, as the couple of years went by, it made sense to be obedient and start putting out Christian music talking about Jesus.
Right. Wow, amazing. You talk about your spiritual weapon. You mentioned a few times is prayer.
Prayer.
And tell us more about that. Like, what's it look like for you even to pray about everything in your life, but specifically areas of struggle and direction, asking God for direction? Because some people are like, well, there's those people who really are gifted to pray and they know what to say, but some are like, my prayers are like, help me, Jesus,
Yeah. My prayers are somewhere in between.
Okay.
They're not like, I'm kind of just raw with God. And I like to incorporate him throughout my day. Like I like to bring him in on everything,
Yeah.
Just little prayers here and there. I'm not one to just sit down and spend an hour praying. I would never know what to say.
Right.
Like I'm such a worshiper, so when I'm worshiping, I think that's like one of the best ways that God and I connect. But praying, like I said, that first 13-minute drive to work, I'll start praying throughout the day, like, oh God, this just happened, like, please help this, or I'll go and I'll meet clients and I'll just be like, God, Holy Spirit, is there anything like that you want me to say here, or meeting new people, because I meet new people every day pretty much. just little prayers throughout the day. I think
love it.
that's really what builds your relationship with God. And that's really what builds your relationship with any human being too,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Talk. You got to talk to them. You're not going to sit down and talk to your friend for an hour a day.
Right.
Right? You're going to call them. You're going to text them.
Yeah.
Like
And
short
hanging
little
out. And,
things.
I love that because I think it's just keeping it real. And what I hear in your story is just like you're inviting God into every part of your life.
That's what that has been. A major shift for me is just inviting God into every aspect. It's always about his will, really.
Yeah.
For me, it's always about let me do what you want me to do while I'm on this earth, because I've wasted a lot of time. Like I feel like I've just wasted a good decade for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything that I've been through, I know that God's using it now, even sitting here with you, talking about all my struggles. I hope somebody out there is going to see it, and God is going to move and speak to them and maybe help them through what I'm saying, you know?
I can tell you for a fact, and I think scripture affirms this over and over again, the way anything gets redeemed, Daniel. First of all, nothing is wasted. Not that God wanted you to go through those, what we would call wasted years.
Right.
But he is a God that restores and redeems. And I'm telling you, it can be overnight.
Yeah.
I know you know my kids and you know a bit of our family story. And you know I was the parent who had these 3 prodigal kids that were involved in the party scene and different. They all tell their own story, so mom's not telling on them.
Yeah.
But, you know, the drugs and the alcohol, and it was just breaking my heart because I just knew this is not who God made them to be. Like, please don't waste your life.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I remember literally one day just crying out to God for my children and saying, like, I was mad. Like, I was ticked off, not just at the kids, but at God. Like, what good can come of this? Oh, and as soon as I uttered those words, what good can come of this? I felt this incredible conviction that God's like, I am a God who brings good out of everything.
That's right.
And he has.
That's right. He has.
And you know, one of the reasons he has, Daniel, is because we told our story.
Yeah.
And we keep telling our story.
Yeah.
And I believe, like Revelation says, you know, through the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, that is how the enemy is defeated. So today I declare, the enemy is defeated in your life, Daniel, because you are testifying of the goodness, the good that God does.
Exactly.
From the messes that we make in our life.
That's right.
What good can come of this? You'll never be able to measure how good God will use this.
That's right. I hope so.
Yes. And it takes our own humility. I never wanted to talk about it, Daniel, because I felt like such a failed mom.
Yeah.
Like, why are my kids, you know, all screwed up? You know, like, really, I just felt like such a failure.
Yeah.
And yet the Lord convicted me and said, Lori, if you don't share in the pain, where will people be there in the party?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go get those kids and we're going to have a party.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Daniel, my obedience was on the up before the party. I was speaking and I had to share very vulnerably, the worst part of my life. And as I did that, people started joining me in prayer.
Yeah.
And I believe that's how God gets the glory.
That's right.
And we did party because those kids came home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've witnessed that.
Yeah.
As you've watched Justin come back to the Lord. Yeah. And I'm telling you, Daniel, every time you share your story, every time, God will bring good of it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else on your heart that you just think you just wanted to say about?
Nothing really.
Okay.
About all that. No.
We're just going to leave that to the Lord to do something great with it.
I think so.
So, you know, you come back to God and you're anchoring your identity and your dreams and your hopes. You're now leading worship. Mm-hmm. And you're working this family business and you've got the beautiful family with Lizzie and, you know, 3 kids. I got that right?
3 kids.
3 kids, and how old are they? Like
7 months.
Wow.
I don't know, 20. You know, when they're under
I know.
two, it's
They're
like
under two. They're under
22 months
two
or something.
kids under two.
Two
we'll
under
say,
two.
And a
2
6-year-old.
boys that are 14 months apart.
Wow.
And almost 6-year-old in January. She'll be 6, so she's 5.
You are in a busy, busy season, my friend. And you've started to write new songs. Tell us about your newest song, Dear God, which, by the way, is well, all your songs are amazing.
Thank you.
And anyone listening, hold on, because we're going to give you a taste of that Dear God song at the end. But tell us about that song, Dear God. Where'd it come from?
Well, funny thing is, it actually was started to be written when I was working with Warner Music, actually, to work on my solo career.
Yeah.
It did not sound like this. Same melody, but different lyrics. Actually, the first chorus, so like every chorus is different in this song, which is really kind of different for me because you usually copy and paste the chorus. But the first chorus kind of is started that many years ago, I think in 2017 or something.
Right. It's sort of your journey.
Yeah. So anyways, Dear God, I know I digress. So Dear God is really about, it starts with somebody not really believing in God, asking, crying out, like, God, are you even there? Like, the stuff that's going on in this world, like, how could you even be there, right? So that's what the first verse and the first chorus kind of talks about. And then by the second verse and the second chorus, by then, they're believing in God. They have had some sort of an encounter from the Holy Spirit. And then the third chorus just brings it all together, saying, Dear Lord God, I know that you're out there. I know you've waited for me. It talks about God waiting, right? He'd wait 1,000 years is one of the lyrics. So just this person, it's just about that whole little journey that they go through from not really believing to believing and living in Christ, which is really now, in hindsight, is really what we've been talking about today about my life. Right. And when I wrote this song, I wasn't really thinking about my whole lifespan. I was kind of thinking about another person. So
interesting.
So that's pretty cool.
But it's actually your story.
But it's really actually my story.
Yeah.
Except the fact that I always believed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always believed.
Yeah.
But it actually is my story. Like,
there's a theme of God. You know how we see God the Father. Some would see him as this judge and jury, just ready to hammer you. But that's not how you see God. You see God as really the father of the prodigal son who waited, who ran to meet his son, who celebrated you when you came home.
Yeah.
And in that, your music, does that come out, that theme of this loving God who embraced
Definitely.
you?
Like my first Christian single, which was my last song, Light That Shines, it really touches on that, like just the redemption and the grace that God has for me. Just crazy. And just finding your hope in God. Yeah. That's what that song's all about too.
It's a beautiful song. Again, people, please, all the links are in the show notes. Download Daniel's songs. They're incredible. Dan, you fully stepping into this new chapter now of Christian music, really professionally. Yes, you work and lead worship at a church, but your songs are now taking on this whole testimony of who God is. And what do you hope for these next years of, and I just want to say again, there's nothing wasted. Like, I believe what's occurred in your life is going to sow into this new season in such a powerful way. But what's your hope for all these songs? And
obviously just for God to speak to people, like, through my music. I want to first and foremost, when I write these songs and future songs, I'm always asking the Holy Spirit to show me what to write. So he has somebody in mind who he's going to speak to, even from the moment that I write the song. So I just want to be used. Like I said, like I don't have the specifics. Yeah. Like, I literally, it's just like a vague thing. It's like, I want to be used. So through my music. So God, use me. So I just want to touch the hearts and lives of people. I want them to to see Jesus
Wow.
through my music. It's plain and simple.
You know what? I think that's a good place to be. You're not running after the trophy or even the downloads or the stages.
I'm not anymore. I used to think about that every single morning on my drive into work. Now it's completely 180.
Wow.
It used to be like, who can I call? What past contacts can I call that I have from the band, or how can I progress here? But now it's, what do you want me to do, God? I'm just here chilling. Like, whatever happens, happens. If you want me to just actually lead worship at 300 attendee church in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada for the rest of my life, okay.
Yeah. But you've released it all. So you've left the hustle.
I've left the hustle.
Yeah. And you're moving on to, I would say, the hope, if we want to stick to H words.
Yeah.
And helping others too.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're doing here today. I thank you for sharing really the deepest part of your story.
Yeah.
That takes courage and vulnerability. I bless you in what you're doing, Daniel. Again, this song, Dear God, I want our listeners to check out. So we're going to give them a taste, okay?
Okay.
But thank you for being here on the Found Podcast. Any last words that you want to share before we wrap up here?
It's only Jesus. Everything Jesus.
He saved you. He rescued you.
Yeah.
And he redeems everything.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on the Found Podcast. And now, here is a taste of Dear God. Well, I know that if you just listen to that, you were as moved as I was. And Daniel, your testimony is so powerful. I think there's going to be people that are forever changed because I've heard your story today.
I hope so.
And I think one thing that stood out to me as you were sharing was the power in bringing things out of the dark and putting them in the light. Mm-hmm. God has an incredible way of redeeming it all, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, thank you again for being with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thank you. We'll see you next time on the Found Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Found Podcast. I hope you're feeling encouraged and excited to step into everything God has for you. Don't forget to follow and subscribe so you won't miss a single episode. And if today's show encouraged you, please share it with friends and give us a shout out on social media. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.